All right, and we're live. We got Bryce Mitchell versus IlIA Tapora starting right now. We're in the first couple seconds of the first round. Oof, IlIA Tapora comes forward with some powerful punches to the head. Bryce Mitchell takes a shot. Ooh, and a nice leg kick from IlIA Tapora. It seems like IlIA Tapora's strikes right away are affecting Bryce Mitchell more so than the other way around. Let's see if Bryce can use his grappling here. He's known for using his grappling to win fights. It looks like IlIA Tapora has no respect for Bryce's grappling or um, striking skills. It's still very early on in the fight, though. If you notice, Bryce Mitchell has camo shorts on. He protested for many fights to get those camo shorts, and as you can see, he's finally wearing them. There were so many post-fight interviews where he was basically like, "I don't care what you say, just get me my camo shorts," and he willed them into existence. Oof, IlIA Tapora is just boxing Bryce Mitchell's ears off so far in this first round. And it doesn't look like Bryce has been able to get close on his takedowns. There is an open stance situation where Bryce Mitchell has his right leg forward in the southpaw stance, and IlIA Tapora is in the orthodox stance, left side forward, right side back. So up, Bryce Mitchell looks for a takedown again. IlIA Tapora sprawls. When you're doing a sprawl, the main idea is to like get your hips low and get to the mat. But the way that IlIA Tapora sprawled there to an angle is a higher level sprawl, where the arm that's like reaching for the takedown gets sprawled on to an angle more so. Looks like there's a cut to above Bryce Mitchell's eye, and so far IlIA Tapora is really dictating the pace of this match. Now it looks like Bryce Mitchell has a single leg, and he tries to switch to a double leg, putting IlIA Tapora up against the fence, finally looking like he's chaining his wrestling and his grappling together. And he's going for an Osoto Gari, where you sweep the leg finish on a single leg takedown. So he's switching to a technique called high crotch, and good hand fighting from IlIA Tapora. Nice attempt from Bryce. Also, you saw there from Bryce using the single leg, which is an easier takedown to enter into, and then using the double leg to try to finish. But IlIA Tapora is throwing some brutal strikes to Bryce Mitchell's head here, and there's a big cut above Bryce's eye. This is not quite the fight I had expected to see, because Bryce Mitchell's last fight, he made the guy almost look silly with his superior grappling. Bryce Mitchell throwing a hook kick here. 1 minute, 12 seconds left of the first round. Ethan, thanks for joining us. Thanks for participating. And we are in the first round with 1 minute left. Bryce Mitchell finally gets on top, gets a body lock right here to start passing the guard. What he wants is to get his knee above his opponent's knee so that he could slice through and pass the guard. But right now he's actually looking to settle in half guard, which is a great position too in MMA because of the difficulty to get up. Thank you so much, Shay, for participating. Thank you so much for being in the comments section. Much love to you, and thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate the comments. You see, Bryce is on top, but he really hasn't done much damage. I give this whole round to IlIA Tapora with his seemingly superior striking here. And that's the end of round one. I give round one to IlIA Topuria. What you saw there too is Bryce Mitchell maintaining the inside position with his hands, where he puts his hands on the biceps of IlIA Topuria. And when you maintain the inside position like that, the opponent cannot strike you. 8, 9 viewers, love it, love it. Love to see everyone here. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Would love to hear from you. Wow, they're showing some replays. IlIA Topuria with a nice right down the middle. Bryce mixing it up. Single leg, hooks the leg, and then gets a body lock to try to keep him down. Should be an interesting second round. First round, I give to IlIA Topuria. Let's see if Bryce can get him to the ground, because if this fight seems to stay on the feet, it looks like it's going to be IlIA Topuria all the way through. Ethan says, who did you have winning before the match? I'll be honest with you, Ethan. Based on Bryce's last performance, I had him winning. But after I saw this first round, I don't have him winning. The second round just started, and a couple of interesting exchanges here where Bryce is just getting his ears boxed off. Bryce shooting for a takedown, but it looks telegraphed. It looks like you can see it from a mile away, and IlIA Topuria easily stuffs it. And here we see an open stance too, where it's very important the type of stance, the relationship of the stance between the two fighters. It's really the relationship of the stance that allows you to do certain things in the fight. So, for example, Bryce is fighting in a southpaw stance, which means that that single leg is more available in a wrestling sense, and certain striking elements like the jabs will always hit each other, and the body kick is more open in this exact kind of stance situation. But Bryce is making a comeback here. He's finally getting some strikes down and mixing up the wrestling and the grappling. We're starting to see almost a change in the fight. IlIA Topuria answers though and tries to stay in charge of this one. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. And things to study. Yes, Bryce is wearing camo shorts. I was explaining that in the first round. Bryce in a half guard situation right now with his hands locked around the leg in the half guard, which is a common way to get to deep half. But IlIA Topuria feeds through an underhook, which allows him to essentially now pass the guard and get past Bryce's guard. This is bad news for Bryce because he's supposed to be dominating on the ground, and when you're beating a guy and where he's supposed to be best at, it's very psychologically demoralizing, because then what are you going to use to beat him if he's already beaten you at your own game? But they both scramble, and they are back up to their feet. This is a crazy fight for sure. But it seems like Bryce is continue to keep coming. Oof. Bryce gets on the really bad end of a reversal here, and gets taken down into side control. Whenever there's like a scramble like that where both guys are sort of like on their knees, if you are able to get an underhook in like you saw there, you can really control the scramble and bring it down to the floor. IlIA Topuria now looking for a head and arm choke. This looks deep. He taps. Wow. Wow. IlIA Topuria with a head and arm choke over Bryce Mitchell. Beautiful stuff. I had never seen IlIA Topuria fight before, and now I am a fan. Things to study says no. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. And in this fight, man, IlIA Topuria just showed that he's on a completely other level than Bryce. I mean, he beat him in every facet of the game. Yeah, they're showing that great underhook that he used to reverse him. Wow. And then he set up the submission almost from like a very non-traditional position. Usually you set it up from a mount or like a side control type situation, but um, he set it up while the guy was like seated with his sort of back up against the um, and then he wrapped the head and arm, brought him down with it, and finished it as the submission. Really sort of unorthodox setup to that head and arm. But there's a certain feel too when you have a really good head and arm choke that um, when you know that you got it locked in or when you have it really secure, then it usually finishes well. And there's a lot of variations that you could do even from unorthodox positions, even like from standing, where if you get in a deep head and arm, then you can bring the fight to the ground and finish it on the ground right there. It has like a locked in kind of thing about it. And he gets his Joe Rogan interview.
TOPURIA, and one of the most important, if not the most important, victory of your career. You came out guns blazing today.
Thank you so much, Ethan.
Not just with the
all right, I'm going to end this stream, but I'm going to be right back for the next for every fight on this card, I think. So please make sure to like, comment, and of course subscribe. And I will be right back for the next fight. We have a great card tonight. And what's that next fight? It is. I think it's Darren Till. Yeah, Darren Till should be next. So that should be a fascinating fight. So please subscribe, hit bell notifications to make sure that you know when I go live. And I hope to see you all. Thank you so much, Shay, Ethan, Things to Study, and everybody for participating. Much love.